Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Allison if you're new here, and today I thought I would just pop in and say, hey, what's up? It's been a while. I think the last time I posted on YouTube was about a month ago. A lot has happened in this month. It's just been jam-packed and so incredibly busy. I actually went home this past month to San Diego, California and visited my parents with Will, and it was honestly so much fun. The first week was really fun. We visited for 2 weeks total. The first week there was amazing. We did like so much fun stuff. I was working at the same time, but I was working East Coast hours, and so I just wake up super early and then I'd work until like 1 p.m. and not even take a lunch. So it was just really worked out. I was really tired like the whole time we were there, but you know what? It was so fun. And then after that really fun week of going to the beach every day and reading a ton, I got really sick. It was really crappy. I developed an upper respiratory infection somehow. I don't really know how it happened. Will thinks it's because I was like waking up super early, working for a really long time, and then going to bed late. Just like my immune system finally was like, you don't get enough sleep. So maybe that happened, I don't know. Anyways, it was rough. I got really sick. I was sick for like 3 days, in bed for most of it. I tried working. It was really hard because I just felt horrible. Then one morning I woke up and had a horrible earache. Like it was extremely painful, and I was like screaming a bit because it was just like the most horrible pain. And Will and my mom rushed me to urgent care and found out that I had an inner ear infection. That was actually like pretty bad. If you've ever had an inner ear infection, they're horrible. I wouldn't recommend it, but it happens. And I've actually had one once before because I love to free dive, and my dad and I went free diving one time and I just didn't clear properly and I got one. So I mean, it's horrible. It lasts like a while for it to like finally go away. I'm still kind of getting headaches. I have a little bit of one now, hence why I haven't been super keen on filming and producing content for this channel, so I'm sorry again. But I'm getting back in the hang of it. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm still kind of dealing with like residual, just like not really feeling my best. Like I'll go out during the day. I went out to shoot content last week when I got home, and like after like a few hours of being out, like I felt horrible. So yeah, I'm just dealing with that. I actually have a doctor's appointment coming up, so hopefully I will get that taken care of. I don't know if I need to be put back on antibiotics or what, but that is what's going on with me health-wise. Sorry, I've just been kind of MIA. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm a lot more active on there these days just because it's just a quicker way to post content and I really enjoy it. Also TikTok. I've been really active on there just because it's quicker and kind of helps me be more creative at work too, so yeah. Anyways, I thought today's video could be just a little chat and hangout session, just me like catching you guys up with what's going on in my life. I recently went, right before I went home to California, I went to a flea market. I planned on making a video for that, but it didn't happen and I'm really sorry, but I hope to get back to thrifting content really soon. I didn't actually go thrifting at all when I was back in California, which is really unfortunate because I figured that I would have enough time, and then at the tail end of my first week there, it just kind of went downhill health-wise. So yeah, unexpected, but I'm so thankful to have an amazing family to take care of me and an amazing job where if you're sick, you can take care of yourself, because I think that is just amazing. So anyways, I thought another portion of this video could be me sharing with you what I have been up to recently other than working. This isn't even all of the books that I've been devouring this past month. I started reading a lot like after I posted my last video, so it's been like a full month of just like reading, and I've just been so excited about it. If you didn't know, I went to university for literature and writing studies, so I've always really loved reading. It's been really fun for me in the past, just like a really good way to escape. And after I graduated, I kind of just had this like, you know, like feeling towards books. You're forced to read a lot of stuff that just like isn't really what you would be reading if you had the option, and a lot of those like old white men that write a lot of the classic literature that we're taught are just kind of boring and like not the most intriguing writers, if that makes sense. I'm not saying they're all bad, obviously. There's like a lot of great literary icons out there that have been pivotal in literature as a whole. I'm just saying, like, these days modern texts can be a little bit more entertaining, more fast-paced. So I have been reading a lot, finding out what genres that I enjoy again, and just kind of getting back into it. And the first piece of literature that I really got into was this book called Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. If you're unfamiliar with Riley Sager, he is very well known in the thriller world. And, okay, sirens. It's great to be back in New York, don't get me wrong. We renewed our lease, so we will be here for another year. But sometimes those noises, they get you. Anyways, so Riley Sager. He's amazing. I've only read one book of his, this one. I started watching Haley Pham on YouTube, and she has like been one of my new favorite YouTubers. So I'm really excited to have another YouTuber that I love to watch. Highly recommend. She has amazing book vlogs that I've been really excited about. I find that her recommendations are always really spot on. I think I've read 3 books. No, I've read more, but like I haven't picked them up because she's read them. I've like read them before, you know? Her taste is very similar to my taste, and so when she recommends something, I'm kind of like, okay, like I think I would like that. And she recommended Riley Sager, and I've actually read a few thrillers before. Okay, really? So anyways, in the past few months, I've also read another book called Flicker in the Dark. I forget who the author is, but basically it's another thriller and has a lot of like murder aspects, very serial killer vibes, but like not in the way where I'm like fearing for my own life, because it's not really like anything related to mine, you know? I don't know if that makes sense. I'm able to read like scary books if I don't see myself in the characters, and I haven't really seen myself in any of the characters that I've read in the past for thrillers, so that's really helpful if you really like thrillers but you're like scared to get into that genre. Good tip. This book is a definite 5 stars for me. It's so good. Loved it so much. I won't talk more about it because this isn't like a book vlog. I just wanted to say like I loved it, and it's very intense, based in New York. So good. Loved it. I also like couldn't put that down. Like it was really hard for me to like want to watch TV at night with Will when he's like, oh, what do you want to watch? And I'm just like wanting to read this. So the next book that I read, I actually don't have with me. I loaned it to my sister recently. It's called The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, and it's just really cute. If you're looking for like a lighthearted romance with not too much going on, not hard to keep up with, like super easy to follow along, I think that's a super cute one. I've heard really good things about Ali Hazelwood in the past. I think she's like a relatively new author, so I think that's a good sign if a lot of people were like devouring her work and she hasn't been writing for very long. I think that's pretty cool. I would rate that book probably 4 out of 5 stars. For me, it was just because in the beginning, I didn't really love how enveloped the main character's life was in academia. I'm not saying that like I didn't like that she was in academia. I'm just saying like a lot of the stuff that the author talked about, it could be like slightly boring. I think maybe if you have experience in that world, like my sister's literally a PhD candidate at the moment at Columbia, like she would probably love that because a lot of the vernacular that they talk about is all about academia and about science and the STEM programs and everything, and I'm just not really used to all that stuff, so for me it was like a little bit boring. But I think if you were again like in that kind of world, I think it would be very entertaining. So it's hard to not rate it 5 out of 5 stars just because it was so cute, but yeah, there was a couple boring parts for me, so I would rate that 4 out of 5. The next up is actually one that my good friend Lay Mama recommended me. I was honestly very intimidated by Colleen Hoover because so many people love her, and I also just feel like whenever there's someone that people love, there's a really solid foundation of people that hate. So I was just worried that I was gonna get on this Colleen Hoover train and really not vibe, but I honestly loved it. This is called Verity. It is not a romance novel. There are obviously elements of romance in it, but it's mostly just a thriller. And it's a really good page-turning thriller, and I devoured this. It was so good. It's actually quite funny because I think the first like 60-ish pages, I was kind of just reading it thinking like, great, I don't like Colleen Hoover. This is really boring. Once the pace of the book changed and the main character goes to this place to write, I won't say any more than that. Basically, it starts to be like so intriguing and mysterious and good. But previously it was just kind of like dry and I was like having a hard time getting into it. I was actually on the plane to California and I finished this all on the plane to California from New York, which is like a 6-hour flight. So very fast-paced book. I think I was on page like 60 when I got on the flight. So not the whole book, but it's about 300 pages. So I mean, that's like a pretty solid flight book. But anyways, the flight attendant on the plane actually saw me reading this, and when I went to the bathroom, she was like, oh, do you love your book? And I was like, what? And she was like, I love that book. She's like, I couldn't put it down. It's so good. And I was like, oh yeah, like it's really good. But at that point I'd like just started reading it. And so I was just kind of like, yeah, okay. But like honestly, she gave me the push I needed to be like, okay, this book is like worth reading. If she like couldn't put it down. I mean, the mama said it was really good, but I didn't know if it would like pick up the pace or not. So anyways, 5 out of 5 stars, so good. Like this is like up there as one of my favorite books now. So yeah. The last book that I read on this reading month excursion is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Super cute cover, super romantic, young adult vibes. This was super cute. I really enjoyed this. It was a little bit slow to get into just because I was like, I didn't know that this was like a high school romance book. Haley Pham recommended it and I was like, okay, I should try it. Like her recommendations are really good, and she rated this book like 6 out of 5 stars. Like it was like one of her like all-time favorites or something like that. And I was like, okay, I should try it, like just give it a chance, you know? And I bought this at Barnes & Noble when I was visiting my parents and finished it on the beach there. It was so cute. I really enjoyed it. I'd say like 4.5 out of 5 stars. I don't really vibe with books set in high school time. I did when I was in high school, but now as an adult I just kind of like feel a little weird, you know? I feel like I'm like not supposed to be in that world anymore, so it like kind of weirds me out to like read it. Definitely recommend. Super cute, light-hearted romance if you're looking for one. Then the next book and the last book that I'm going to talk about is called A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is also a Haley Pham recommendation, and also like it's all over TikTok. I'm only on page 54. So don't give me any spoilers. I just started this book like 2 days ago and I haven't really read that much of it because I've just like been taking it on the train with me when I go, and like it's like dead zones for my phone, so it's good reading time. This is a cool universe so far because it's fantasy and you kind of have a lot of exposition and a lot of world setting up to do in the first bit of the book, so I'm definitely enjoying it so far. I really like this idea of like dark, mysterious fantasy realm. I don't know, it just seems dark, which I like, because normally I feel like if I heard it's a book about fairies and war and stuff, like I'd be like, oh, pretty little fairies, but it's like not really that vibe. So I'm excited to start the series. I felt very intimidated by the fact that I was starting like a really big series. She's like still writing the book, so I'm not even, I don't know. We'll see if I like the first one at least, but I've heard this isn't the best one. I think like the second and third are meant to be like the best ones in the series, so we'll see. That's kind of all that's been going on. I have been working a lot. Oh, I actually got a new friend. If you've heard of Squishmallows, I got one. I'm so excited. He's so cute and so squishy. When I was sick at my mom's house, I didn't bring my favorite little buddy with me from my childhood home because he lives here in New York, of course. And I really wanted a little creature to squish, and so my mom and Will picked me up this little guy from the store, and he's just the cutest thing. I think he's supposed to be like a Bigfoot character. He's got these cute little feet that are just like so adorable, and I love his little sporty headband. Like he's just like ready to go. And like when I was on the plane, I was just like, Mr. Squash Bucket, because that is his name. Will named him for me. I couldn't get it down, but He is so cute and I love him so much. So yeah, that's Squash Bucket for you. Mr. Squash Bucket. And yeah, that's kind of it. I just wanted to say hey and let you guys know I'm doing great. I actually have a project that I'm working on now for a video where I DIY a mirror and I'm really excited for that to be up. And I'm gonna do a closet clean out at some point, so that's exciting. And other than that, I hope that you enjoyed this little catch up with me, and if you did, please feel free to give it a big thumbs up down below and subscribe to my channel if you want to. It means so much to me, and I hope to be doing better at this multitasking with a job and my YouTube channel. So yes, and I hope that you have an amazing day and an amazing week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.